Only I could turn back time. I could find a way. Hello, and welcome to the Harnkegger Games Day 6 here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. We really appreciate you joining us here today. If you give us a follow on Twitch, you'll be notified for when we go live with shows just like this one. Additionally, we do have these archived on both Twitch and YouTube. You can find the YouTube page at youtube.com/dungeons and /Lord of the Rings /live. Again, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings /live. If you give us a subscribe on YouTube, you'll get these videos in your YouTube subscription feed. How's it going, everyone? Appreciate you being here on a fine Saturday. No, I'm not mowing the lawn today. Instead, I am near Michael Delving. In the Shire, we are here for Day 6 of the Harnkegger Games. Folks are going to get drunk. They're going to run. We're also going to be having folks recite poetry and storytelling. So it's Arts and Crafts and Craft Beers Day here at the Harnkegger Game 6. And we'll talk a little bit about how everything works in just a second here. Let me pan into the games and get our volume up. Hope you're having a good time. It is evening in the Shire, a beautiful night in the Shire to engage in the Harnkegger Games here.
Hey.
Hey, Stefala, I really appreciate you joining me here today. We want to welcome Stefala to co-hosting duties here for Day 6 of the Harnkegger Games. How you doing? Do you hear me, Stefala?
Yes, I hear, but
Okay.
a little bit probably in my computer technique. It's a problem here.
You'll want to mute the video on demand. That'll help. Yeah. So normally you are actually streaming right now on Saturday afternoons on LOTRO stream. It's the dark evening of Middle-earth, and I really appreciate you joining us here today for the Harnkegger Games Day 6. Got some music and people getting ready for the games here outside of the Michael Delving Inn, the Matham Inn. Just a quick reminder for those who don't know, I am on my official Cordovan admin character. I'm the weird glowing guy back there. The reason I'm glowing is because players in-game cannot interact with me and they cannot see me. I can't hide the camera for myself though, so that's why I look a little bit strange. I will have the camera on and off throughout the event because I do want people to know I'm there, but at the same time I also don't want to interfere with the games, and this gives me the flexibility to kind of get in the faces of the participants of that without actually interfering with their views and all that sort of thing. So that's what's going on there. Alright, let me move real quick over to what's going on here today. Here's yesterday's recap. The elves and the hobbits just destroyed in the games yesterday and got tons of gold medals. 9 medals to be won. Hobbits and elves won 8 of them, so with 28 points, 8 points ahead of all the other nations, elves have made a serious bid for the final nation trophy glory. Things are still possible for the hobbits and dwarves, provided they start winning some gold medals today and tomorrow. The race of men are still at 9 points, so it seems difficult for them to be able to win the overall Harnkegger Games here at this point. But anything is theoretically possible. It's just a matter of they have a lot yet to do, because we have, if I recall correctly, let's see, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 points up for today, and then up to 12 points tomorrow. So theoretically, there are 24 points, which would be enough if the race have been swept through the games to be able to, you know, pick up the 19 points. Well, yeah, 19 points that they'd need, but that is going to be a long shot. So the race of men, I'm not saying they're out of the competition. And there are, of course, individual gold, silver, and bronze medals to be won, but they have a challenge with them. However, it is still very much a close race with the dwarves, the hobbits, and the elves. The elves do include the high elves, and Bjornings are grouped in with men, in case you're curious. And that's how it goes. Again, we've seen a lot of activity by the Syndicate of the Silent Tower Kinship. They are way in the lead with 27 points on Lorelin. That includes 5 gold medals, 4 silver, and 4 bronze. Number 2 in the standings, kinship-wise, is Eve Aronwe with 9 points. And then, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but I think it's Fignaro Noseo with 6 points. Hope I got that right, or at least didn't mangle it too badly. And then let's go across a little bit about the games here today. So today we have really 2 events that will carry us through till about 4:30 Eastern Time. So about 2 hours from now, these broadcasts, about how long we're going to be broadcasting here today. Yesterday we had the swim sprint, the bridge sprint, and the aquathlon, and today we have the Shire Drunken Merchant Race. That starts in about 20-some minutes here in Michael Delving. It's a foot race taking people through the Shire and beyond. They have to run on foot, and they must drink the listed drink at each waypoint. First one to cross the finish line wins. It commemorates the trade of the dwarves and the Shirelands. No limit on the maximum number of competitors. Every competitor is handed 3 drinks, 3 blackberry ales by the Harnkegger Games Committee before the start. They start outside of the Maythom house. Once the go is given by the official, each competitor drinks one of the ales, then runs to Buckland. Competitors must drink their first ale at the go, no sooner. When the competitor has crossed the Buckland main entry gate, he or she must drink another ale and then go to Needle Hole at the main entry gate. When they've crossed the Needle Hole main entry gate, they must drink their third blackberry ale, then run to the 3 farthing stone near Bywater. The first to jump against the 3 farthing stone wins. There are no buffs, no mounts. They must run a fair race on foot. They can't be anonymous. That's so judges can target them and make sure they don't have any buffs on. There are stewards that will monitor the race. Otherwise, the route is kind of the competitor's each choice. But they must pass the designated waypoints and drink the drinks that they've been given. So, it's a race from Michael Devlin to the 3 farthing stone. The gold medal winner gets 100 gold coins, 500 LOTRO points, and a sturdy steel key. 3 points for their nation. Silver is 25 gold coins and 2 points for their nation. Bronze is 10 gold coins and 1 point for their location. So here's the start of the area there, right on the porch. Then they are ending in Buckland, right as you can see on the screen. Actually, going there, and then going to Needle Hole, and then ending at the stone here. So after that, actually here's a good map here. This is the start and the finish line, so it's basically a west to east finish line race here. Alright, you can see the map. Then is the Poetry and Story Contest. This will be held at the Ivy Bush Inn in Hobbiton, right after the Shire Drunken Merchant Race. Up to 15 people can participate. It's poetry, it's storytelling. The best story poem competition, they're going to be judged on style, lyrics, and performance. Can be groups or individuals. Only one performance. Jury decides the gold medal, silver medal, and bronze medal winners. Poems and stories must be original. If they aren't original, they'll be disqualified. And they've got 3 minutes to do their performance, so we're not talking about, you know, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner here, or whatever the Middle Earthian equivalent of that would be. They do have 15 performers as groups or solo artists. That's to keep the event moving along and not take all day. And then again, you know, gold, silver, bronze, 3, 2, 1 points for their nation. And then they'll be celebrating with music, food, fine drinks, and fireworks. Tomorrow will be the final day of the Harnkegger Games. Day 7. This takes place Sunday, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern in Staddle. We will be live starting around, a little bit before 2 p.m. here on Twitch. The fence run kind of what you think. You've got to run the fence without falling off. You think it might be easy, but it actually isn't. I remember trying that one last year. And then the music event final, kind of one of the most exciting parts of the Harnkegger games. We had the semifinal on Monday, and it ends with the music event final. Which one will impress the judges with their musical skills? A best song competition and one of the highlights every year of the Harnkegger games. Then, at that same stage, they're going to have the award ceremony, both for the ultimate individual winners and the nationwide winners, and then having a closing concert of about 30 minutes. So there you go. That is our current standings as to what's going to be going on here today and tomorrow. We're about 15 minutes or so away from the Shire Drunken Merchant Run. Stefala, have you had an opportunity to check out many of the games this year?
So, I checked my character list, so I haven't got a server, so... But it's probably to join them.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun here today. I really appreciate everyone being here. And again, we do want to thank not just the fine folks in the audience who make our chat room so much fun during the Harnkegger games, but also all the organizers of the event. There are really 3 kinships on Laurelin who spend months, literally months, doing the organization to make this thing run as smoothly as it runs. And I think if you've seen the videos, either joined us live or on demand here, you'll know that they really do an excellent job keeping a very complex series of games and races and events running very smoothly. So we do want to give a big shout out to all the fine folks who are organizing this year's Harnkegger games. We have the easy part. We just have to watch it and have fun seeing it. So if you're in chat here, we really appreciate you joining us live. We're going to be getting started in about 15 minutes with the first Drunken Shire race. We will be hanging out with them all the way to the end. We even have a couple of participants who are in our chat room today, like 80s Guy. Thank you very much, and good luck. All right. It's always pretty funny to hear the interpretations of the songs in Middle-earth. We had Europe, got the safety dance. I tell ya. So, Stefala, for those who maybe don't typically join us on a Saturday afternoon, let's give them a little bit of an overview on your show that you normally run around this time over on twitch.tv/LOTRO. Why don't we introduce yourself to the audience and kind of talk a little bit about your show that you do. Maybe having some technical problems there. I notice Duero joined us here. Are you here, Duero?
I am indeed.
All right. So let's do a quick rundown of the day's events. Yesterday, we really had a sweep of the Harnkegger games with both the hobbits and the elves coming out way ahead in the overall medals race here. And that means that heading into... I guess this is the penultimate day of the Harnkegger games.
Indeed,
the thing ends tomorrow. We've got the Race of Elves with 28 overall points, Hobbits in second at 20, Dwarves at 18, and Men at 9. That means it's theoretically possible the men could win, but they'd have to do some pretty big medal earning in all these final events.
Yeah, they need to go for not just gold, but basically any medal up for grabs here. If they lose a gold medal, it's nearly impossible. If they don't win both gold medals tonight, they're out.
However, with the hobbits and dwarves, it is still very much an active contest.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, saying that, we also need to take into account that whoever wins the Harnkegger champion title and the Fair Play prize this year will also be earning points for their nation. So it's something to take into account, that when all of the events are done, there's still one or two, well, 3 to be exact per category, points to be added here, which may indeed be the decisive factor as well. So it's still anybody's game, I would say. The race of men will need to make a superb effort, but it is still possible.
So tell me a little bit about these, the Fair Play medal and the other medals here.
Well, so at the end of the Harnkegger Games, tradition that we hand out a large amount of Lobelia's outrageously tasty rabbit and onion pies, or LOTRO points, to 2 winners. One, a winner that has won a gold medal, and another which stands out for fair play. So it's basically every organizer that assisted in the Harnkegger Games. Organizers do not enter the games themselves, so they have, obviously, as seen at the first day, they've taken an oath of impartiality, and they will review the winners and anyone basically that took part, and select, or vote rather, for their favorite for Harnkegger champion and for a fair play winner. So these people will get quite a bit of LOTRO points. We're talking a few thousand LOTRO points here. So it's the big prizes, the big individual prizes, which are handed out at the last day, which is tomorrow. And which means that might also influence the medal count for the nation, because each of those winners, Harnkegger champion and the Fair Play prize, does also contribute 3 points to their nation. So that might be important at the end of the day.
Since we are getting to, towards the end of the point totals with the games, it's worth just reiterating that in the case of a tie, the tie is broken by the nation with the most gold medals.
That is correct, and if the gold medals would be the same, we look at silver medals and etc. etc. That is the idea.
So let's real quick talk a little bit about the Drunken Shire Merchant race. They have 3 blackberry ales. They start at each of the waypoints. They start, and then 2 of the waypoints, they drink one of those ales, and they have to make their way over to jump on a rock.
Yeah, just for clarification, it will be local ales this time from the tavern in Mikkeldelving, as we don't have blackberry ales on hand tonight, but I'm sure the local drought there will be fabulous, so it won't be a worry. But indeed, they need to run from Mikkeldelving, from just outside the Matham House, to Buckland. Then once they pass the gate at Buckland, they drink another one of those wonderful ales, and once they've done that, they need to rush over to Needlehole. Once they pass the gate at Needlehole, drink another of those wonderful ales, and then they head to the 3 farthing stone, and the fastest person to do so wins. Then that person needs to jump against the stone. So we have people following the group. So we have people following the group that all along the routes and at the specific waypoints.
So for those who maybe aren't big LOTRO players or just haven't done it yet before, what happens when you drink one of these ales?
Well, your vision will get somewhat blurry, to be honest. So,
but it doesn't affect run speed.
No, your vision is going to get a bit blurry. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for you to focus on where you're heading. You might run into a fence that you didn't see or something along the lines, or end up in a little pool or somewhere that you hadn't noticed before.
Just like in real life.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
All right, so and then progressively, presumably, it's timed in a way that this is over time. It's getting worse and worse as they go through the race here.
Yeah, well, it will probably, because the race is about 18 minutes long,
Okay.
it will probably run off halfway through to your next waypoint. So it's not cumulative that you're drinking so much that you won't be able to see anything anymore. The race is long enough so that it kind of wears off halfway, and then at the next point you get another gulp of that. So, yeah.
All right. So then afterwards, we've really got one of the great artistic events of the Harnkegger games, a poetry and storytelling contest, and these are original works, 3 minutes long, that the characters that are in game will be presenting these original works to the judges, and it's judged on various things like quality of lyrics, quality of performance, and aesthetics, things like that.
Indeed, yeah. Indeed. We're looking forward to these. I must say, the attendance of the poetry contest has not always been wonderful. I mean, some people have agitation perhaps to get onto that stage, I don't know. So we're hoping to see a lot of people here that attempt to tell a story, to bring us some fine poetry here. As long as it's original and, they can keep it within a 3-minute mark or less. We're not going to be super strict on that. Then yeah, we look forward to hearing what they have to bring.
Fantastic. Any kind of final thoughts here before I let you get going and we really get to the race here real soon? So.
None at the moment, apart from telling folks that they need to pay close attention to what the officials are saying, obviously, and if they have any questions or even complaints, that they can always discuss that with the organizer, and we'd be happy to help them.
Yeah, you guys have been working really hard over in a Discord chat here to keep things coordinated and get that all working well, and it seems to be going quite well. Y'all have a big task ahead of you, and you've done a tremendous work here this week, so we want to give you a shout out for that. I would also point out that harnkeggergames.simplesite.com is a great website that you can get an overview of how all the scoring works, how all the races work. You can find out sort of who won what and all that sort of thing throughout the games, and it's really a good resource for these games if you're trying to catch up on things. So.
Absolutely, there's a lot to be found there, so do have a look if you have any questions or you're wondering about the rules of specific events, for instance.
Great. Thank you very much, Duero, for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing the race here in just a few minutes.
All right, cheers.
All right, let me kind of pan around the scene a little bit so we can check out more of what's going on. We are going to be getting underway in about 5 minutes with the Drunken Merchant race. Some nice looking outfits. People tend to bring out their best when they come to participate and or see the games here. Eve Ronway doing quite well during the standings here. And Little Sweet Roll actually did great during our PvP section, our sparring competition a couple of days ago, wielding a couple baskets of apples. She actually took top place in the high end of the campaign, so did a really good job, Little Sweet Roll, and that was quite fun to watch. And you can find all these archives on our Twitch page. They're in the highlight section by event, or if you just want to watch the whole thing, it's in past broadcasts. Additionally, we do have them set up on YouTube as well, so you can go to youtube.com/Lord of the Rings, and you can find all the videos there if you'd like to. We sure would love to get a follow or a subscription from you as well. That really helps us out, and it gets you notified from when we go live with things just like this. Rongar I see from Syndicate of the Silent Tower. Rongar's been an active participant in this week's games and has done quite well for himself. Same with Wim of Linden, picked up at least one bronze, I know. Arcalax as well. So it really is, I'm recognizing a bunch of these names throughout the events this week, and pretty much everyone has been able to participate and do quite well. It is not just for level 115 characters, as some might think. We actually have had winners that are as low as level 9 in the games here, so it's been pretty interesting to see that it's not always about your level or about your gear. In fact, in most cases, you don't have gear or extra buffs that you can put on. So it's real cool to see really knowledge of the game being more important than just about any other factor here, other than following the rules. It does look like the judges have had to deal with a few rules that they go along as they uncover various things. One of the unfortunate things that we recognized a little late in the games is that some of the High Elves have a buff that we really have to go on the trust system to make sure that they have disabled, and that is I'm trying to think of the exact name of it, something of the Firstborn. It's a minor run speed boost, but it's enough of a run speed boost to be a bit of an issue, so the organizers are planning to say something about that to the contestants here today, and they are going to have someone with that buff active among the spotters in the race to make sure that nobody's running at that speed. So, which is one of those things, everyone does their best to follow the rules. Every now and then, we uncover things that we did not actually consider, perhaps, or what have you, and that's the case here. But we're doing Grace of the Firstborn. Yeah, there you go. It can be toggled off, but it doesn't display correctly in the targeting, so you have to make sure, kind of just by using our spotters and that sort of thing, to make sure that no one's got that buff active. You can see there's quite a large crowd here gathering. We are getting ready for the Drunken Shire race, kicking off any minute now here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream for the Harnkegger Games Day 6, live on Laurelin. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to cut the mic out for just a few minutes and just sort of pan around and show you the sights.